Sometimes you have no choice but to deal with confrontation. I am a firm believer that most of the time you should avoid it. Not out of weakness, but out of the necessity of keeping goodwill. But sometimes you just need to. Maybe someone's disrespecting you, maybe you need to have a difficult conversation. But there are ways of going about it that I believe are the best, using people skills. First of all, you need to accept that in this confrontation, it is likely that this person may get angry, that it will be a difficult time. But the aim is to reduce the amount of difficult emotions that get brought up, but not completely stop, because that's impossible. Think about the worst case scenario that could happen and accept it. Because being an adult, living in this interesting, lovely world, is accepting that sometimes you have to make difficult decisions, you have to do difficult things, including potentially losing a connection. Now, if it's someone that's been bullying you and you need to stick up for yourself, then do you really value that at all? The worst thing that could happen is they could just not take you seriously, but that's a whole thing. But in confronting someone, think about it first. Don't just go and do it like an impulsive ape. There'll be YouTubers on here to tell you that you need to be all macho, be aggressive and shout at them and try and dominate them. That may work, but you're not going to look as big as you think you do. You're just going to look like a fucking ape. And they might, and probably will, react as anger creates anger. React like you, and it'll just be this weird, might even turn into a fight. If that's what you want, bro, go for it. But think about and actually structure what you're going to say to them. First things first, consider what they might be thinking. Consider it from their perspective. And I know what you're thinking, that's the hardest thing to do. But the best people are the ones that, no matter who the other person is, no matter how different they are, can put themselves in other people's shoes. If you can put yourself in other people's shoes, no matter who they are, and see it, or try your hardest to see it from their eyes, you will go far, bro. And you need to practice that skill. So the person you're confronting, the person you need to have a chat with, talk to, have a stern word with, first of all, see it from their perspective. How are they going to view you coming up to them and talking to them in this way? How are they going to view this conversation? What are they going through right now in life? Because right now, all you're thinking about is your own experience. And they don't give a fuck about that. Why should they? No one gives a fuck about that but you. You don't give a fuck about their experiences, but be the one that gives a fuck. Because that will stand out. You may not be able to salvage this relationship, but that will stand out more than anyone else. See it from their perspective, because that's all they'll be thinking about. That's all you really would be thinking about. And if you can be the one in a million that thinks about other people's perspectives, that will help you. Second of all, structure your points in ways that doesn't avoid what needs to be said, but does the least damage. And I don't mean skipping around the point. You shouldn't be a pussy. But you shouldn't just go in there guns blazing. Think about the points you need to make and structure them in the best way. Take time with this. Now, a little side note, if this is a situation where you need to confront someone that's been bullying you, you may have to use a slightly different approach. It depends what it is. If it's someone that's doing it in a not knowing way, use the same approach. Be kind. Always be kind. But if it's someone that you know is bullying you because they're trying to disrespect you, dominate you, that's one of the rare occasions where I would condone using aggression and showing them that you're not to be fucked with. But those cases are rare, because we're not in fucking school anymore, and if you are, then maybe those cases apply. But in normal confrontation, step 1, consider it from their point of view. Step 2, structure your points in the best way possible. And step 3, just do it. Because the hardest part about it is doing it. You can think about all the ways it goes wrong, but the longer you put it off, the more the problem's going to develop for you, for them, for everyone. Confronting people is sometimes the only thing you have to do to fix the problem. And so many people avoid it out of fear, and I understand it. But if it's necessary, bro. And what are you going to do? Sit there like a little bitch? Come on. Yes, take your time structuring what you need to say, but don't put it off just because it's a hard thing to do, because if you know this will lead to a better circumstance, no matter what emotions it brings up in the other person, you need to do it. For yourself, for your life, for your well-being, probably for that other person as well. Because the longer you put that off, the longer in a way you're disrespecting yourself, and that's the worst thing. Okay, bro? Be kind where you have to be, but if you have to be, show people that you're not someone that should be walked over, if you need to show them that. Try and avoid confrontation where you can, but if you have to, don't run from it. But still strive to be the better person, even in those intense moments. See it from their perspective. And ultimately just be a peaceful warrior until you can't be. And if you really lose them, if they are the type of person that arrogant and refuse to see your value, then don't try and tell them it. Show them it through your actions. Because what you'll keep doing, no matter if they stay around or not, is you're going to say less, do more. See you later, bro.